Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Chandana, and today I'm going to be talking about the confusion that a lot of people have when you follow multiple gurus or you want to follow multiple gurus. Okay, so how does one proceed on the path of sadhana when you have multiple gurus? So first and foremost, there's nothing wrong to pick up something good from everyone. I know a lot of people say that have only one guru, stick to only one guru. But the truth is, sometimes when you have multiple gurus, they all have, say, a certain forte in a certain kind of sadhana or a certain connection to a certain deity. So, for example, you may have a guru who is very proficient in doing Bhairav sadhana. You may have a guru who is very proficient in doing Mahavidya sadhana or Devi sadhana. So, like that. So, there is nothing wrong in having multiple gurus and trying to follow what they are saying, but the confusion is how does one follow what they are saying. And sometimes what happens is you have 2 3 gurus that are talking about the same sadhana or the same deity. Okay, so this is where the confusion starts, whether, oh, should I, is what he's saying is right or what the other person is saying is right or no. So today I'm going to clear this confusion. So first and foremost, whenever you are following one particular person or guru and you're trying to follow their instructions, what happens is you take the mantra that they have given you an upadesha to do, or maybe you've had a one-on-one with them and you do the mantra according to the yam niyam or the rules and regulations as per whatever they have said and specified. Okay, so when you take something from somebody, you follow it through and through and complete that anushtan or multiple anushtans or purushcharana before you move on to the next person who is also giving you a sadhana of the similar date of the same deity. Okay, so now what can happen is you may have two different gurus. Say for example, they are both gurus who are encouraging you to do Bhairav sadhana. Somebody may give you a certain set of rules and a particular mantra. Okay, another guru may give you a different mantra of the same deity, which is Bhairav, and give you a different set of rules. So both are okay. In the instance that they both end up giving you the same mantra, although one doesn't know what the other is giving out to you, right? In the instance that they both give out the same mantra, then when they give you the mantra, please follow the rules and regulations and instructions that one guru is giving when he is giving the mantra. Finish that anushtan. Okay, then if you feel like doing what the other guru is also saying, again you take the same mantra and follow it according to what they have said and how it needs to be done. Whether a kavach needs to be done along with it, whether an ashtotar needs to be done, certain nyasas may or may not be there, although the mantra is the same. So this is how you kind of need to follow or do sadhanas when you are approaching or you are listening to multiple gurus on social media nowadays without getting confused. And please don't try to do two sadhanas of two gurus at the same time, thinking, oh, anyway I'm doing Bhairav sadhana, let me do what person A is saying and let me also do what person B is saying, following the rules of A while doing the mantra of A, following the rules of B while doing the mantra of B. Don't do this. It is going to be absolutely catastrophic, and in the event where something goes wrong, neither of them will be able to help you out because of this khichdi that you have made. Right now, another very good example that I would like to give you is what happens with each guru is their philosophies are different. Okay, and their paths are also different. So say for example, if you take an ICSE syllabus and you go into a CBSE school, obviously all the children or the teacher there will say that no, this is wrong and what we are learning is right, and vice versa. Okay, so it's better not to get into this debate of who is right and who is wrong. In truth, nobody is right or wrong. Everybody is just following a certain philosophy that they have inherited from their guru, okay, from the Guru Shishya Parampara. And since you are still out in the open field and you're kind of, doing your spiritual window shopping, you have not gotten initiated, or you are not connected to a certain lineage, this is the best way to approach it. Okay, now another great example that I would like to give you is that of the Mahavidyas. So you see, in some pantheons and philosophy, you do not do Mahavidya worship without their masculine counterpart. Say, for example, if you are going to do Mahakali, you also have to worship Kal Bhairav. Okay, so there are a lot of schools that believe in this philosophy, where Mahavidya worship is not to be done without the male counterpart, without the divine masculine, which is the Shiv Tattva, right? And then you have another school or another philosophy that says that the Mahavidyas are all independent and Purna, complete in themselves, and they do not require a male counterpart. And in that instance, what happens is the 10 Mahavidyas are the exact polar opposite of each other. So, for example, for Kali, the polar opposite of Kali will be Kamlatmika, right? So that way it, from top to bottom, it kind of merges. So there is nothing wrong whether, this is correct or that is correct. It is just how everybody approached the deity, or how their gurus approached it, and the path through which they had the realization or they achieved those siddhis. Okay, so this is like saying, for example, if you have to go to the mall, to a particular mall, right? Now there are a lot of people who are coming from different directions. That doesn't mean that they didn't make it to the mall, or the route that you take from your house to the mall is the only route there, right? So this is something that you need to have, and don't try to get into the debate as to which path is more superior than the other, and or which is greater than the other, and which is right, which is wrong. Okay, because when you are on the spiritual process, what you need to do is you need to be open and receptive, rather than be staunch and rigid, because there are a lot of things on the preliminary stages that, with the intellectual mind cannot understand, and the ego is a huge barrier for you to understand why a certain something is done a certain way, right? Also, you will have a lot of people who will say we can worship the Mahavidyas without animal sacrifices, without worshipping it through the left hand path. You can worship the Mahavidyas through the right hand path also, right? But now that doesn't mean that, it can be only done this way, or only both can be done. But it is the philosophy and the school of thought that the lineage has adopted, and through which that lineage of people, of gurus, have achieved whatever they were meant to achieve, and whatever they wanted to achieve on that path, right? So please don't get confused as to this guru is more superior than him, or he is right and she is not right, and all of that. If you want to follow what everybody is doing, take one guru, take what recommendations they are telling you, the regulations that they are giving you, the mantra that they are giving you, follow it for the stipulated duration, whether it is 40 days, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Complete that. Okay, don't leave it halfway, and don't start something else in between. Complete that fully, and then you switch to what somebody else said, and eventually you will get, if you have done enough sadhana, you will know which path you are feeling drawn to, which guru you are feeling more drawn to, or which mantra you are feeling more drawn to. So this will come over a period of time if you are quite regular with your sadhanas, with your meditations, and your other spiritual practices, kriyas and breathing and pranayamas and all you are doing. Your intuitive ability will definitely wake up and become more potent to kind of let you know where you are feeling drawn to and what you should and shouldn't do, who you shouldn't follow. Okay, so yeah, that's what I had, and I hope that this clears any confusion that you may have either currently on or going forward on your spiritual path. And there's no harm for you to go ahead and see, what fits you best, because not everybody is born and knows exactly what will suit them and what they are ready to handle or not. And it's only when you kind of get into the water, it's okay even if it's the baby pool, but you need to kind of step into it and start getting a feel and an understanding of the divine energies and the discipline and all these things required on the path of sadhana, right? So that's it I have for you today. Until next time, take care. Namaste.